Okay, so some weird
Technical
shit just
difficulty.
happened. Yeah. All of a sudden, my phone stopped recording,
It just
and
went
Laura Lee
blank.
looked and was like, "Are we still recording?" The phone is completely off. Um,
Well, you were
so
looking at it. Did you notice that it went off?
I did, but then I was like, "Oh, it's probably still recording
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
didn't tell it
Okay,
to
that's what,
stop."
yeah, yeah.
Um, but
Just
yeah,
because
no,
you
it
don't
it
tell it
stopped.
doesn't mean
Yeah,
it's going to
yeah,
do that.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we were talking about how when a person has a 20 and back, they'll have certain memories and certain knowledge that seems just so natural to them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then we started going off into some of the other things that I did in my 20 and backs. Long story short, a lot of torture, going to arid planets, not given water, wearing suits that kept you from being squished by the ozone, and a lot of hard labor, long hours, and no pay.
No pay.
I think that just about sums it up.
Not even like a penny a day or something. How did you eat? Like, did
From
they
what I
feed
remember,
you or
yeah,
Okay.
they would feed us. Mostly what they would do, from what I remember, is they would take us back over to our main operation,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because that planet itself was so uninhabitable that they didn't really have any buildings there.
No
So
restaurants,
no bars,
no
although we
bars.
definitely wanted them. Um, so yeah, they would take us back to the main operations spot, um, and then we'd eat there in the cafeteria,
Okay.
and then we'd have like bunkers that we'd sleep
Would that
in.
be
And
on a different planet?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So they beam you in, you do your thing, they beam you out, you eat and go to bed.
yeah,
They beam you in, you do your thing, they beam you out, you go to
yep,
bed.
yep, pretty much. And sometimes it wouldn't even be another planet; it would just be a big spaceship that was hovering above the
Oh,
area
okay.
that they would just beam us up into, and then we'd, you know, rest as much as we could. Um,
Have you met anybody that you knew there? Have you?
yeah, not in this specific place, but in other 20 and backs. Yeah,
Who?
yeah.
You don't need to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Okay.
I can't really say names, but
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's
no.
interesting.
There's two people that that we have very coinciding stories. That when we told each other, we were like, "Wait, were you there? Wait, were you there? Yeah, I was there. You were there." And then we started
That's
like really
awesome.
talking about it, and it's like, "Oh
That's
yeah, no,
awesome.
I do remember seeing you there in passing." Like, we weren't really close at that time, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
didn't know that. I
yeah,
didn't know that you met
yeah,
knew other people. That's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Because how long ago was it that you even knew about 20 and backs?
Well, I only figured out about them about 2 or 3 years ago, when you and Sienna Leia interviewed Tony
Oh,
Rodriguez.
okay. That's
Um,
what pinged when.
yeah, that's what started the
Interesting.
memories. There were a few things that he said that I was like, oh yeah, no, I remember that. And I took a lot of time feeling into it, really working with my body. It's like, is this real? Is there something real to this with my memories with this, or am I just like getting a placebo effect from watching his videos? And then yeah, the memories started coming in, and
Interesting. Those are on on my YouTube channel. They're down a little bit, and you can download it on yours too if you want, or have a link
cool.
there.
Thank
you.
you.
Can absolutely do that.
Yeah. I'll put a link to those in the about section of this video.
Yeah, because they were really good.
Yeah,
Tony's awesome.
Yeah, they were really really good. So yeah, I really don't know what else to say. Well,
that's just I'm. Any other experiences? Like, okay, so you did the medical, you went down and did the mining. Oh, spiders. Everybody talks about the big spiders.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. From what I understand, there are a few different planets that have huge spiders. But there is a lot to that. For one, spiders are a primal fear of the human biology. If you do any studies into like occult theory, one of the mind control methods they have is if a person is going to tattletale on them or talk to other people, or they're a threat to the occultists, they will they'll basically drug a person, get them in a hypnotic state, and put them in a bottle with a big spider that's always chasing them. So they're constantly running around in circles. They're constantly afraid. Um,
And the loose just comes out.
and it just comes out. And then they're a free food source for whatever entities decides to stop by and have a drink.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I don't necessarily have memories of big spiders myself.
Okay.
I know they're out
or,
there,
yeah,
but
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I know they're out there.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a interesting rabbit hole to go down because there's so many people that have been involved, and it's not just a fluke.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a fluke.
And it sounds like it would be. Like, oh, you were taken when you were 5, you spent 20 years as an indentured slave, and now all of a sudden you're
Went back to
5
5
again?
like
Yeah.
totally changed and different. Did you feel? At what age do you feel that you had your first one?
Well, I wasn't even in body until I was about 8.
Okay.
And I do feel like the first few I had were around that time.
Okay. And did you feel more adult like Tony did when you
Oh,
got back?
yeah. You know, I always felt like I was the adult of most groups that I was in.
Mhm.
When I was 13 years old, I was a part of a group of women that they were all in their 40s and up.
Mhm.
And I was the only guy, and I was like 13. And I got along with them
I was
so
like, these
well.
are my homies. I liked this
Yeah,
group.
yeah, we hung out all the time. I got their humor, they got mine. We just
Oh,
we just fit.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it does make things more difficult going into school, though. You know,
Yeah.
when you know more than the teachers do, it can be a little complicated,
Yeah, and
especially with
those
the
little
indigo
kids,
nature.
you know,
Uh-huh.
hanging out with the little kids when just last week you were with adults and now you're hanging out with little kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. But especially with like the indigo nature, you know, it's hard enough being in school because you inherently know more than.
And you know that what they're teaching is BS.
Yeah.
So it makes it triple hard.
Most of it's propaganda. Yeah. So then you pick up on that. It's like, no, that's not right.
That's not right. No, I'm not buying it. Right.
Oh gosh, yeah. Another fun example of this was when I was in massage school. We had a Chinese medicine instructor come and teach us for a weekend class, and I corrected him twice. And he would turn around and be like, "You know what? No, you're right."
You did it nicely.
I did it nicely. I did it nicely.
Go, hey, that's wrong. He was like,
uh-huh.
well, what about this?
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, you know, I feel like you're on the right I don't remember exactly what I said, but it's like, I feel like it's a little more over this way. And sure enough, he would confirm it.
That you knew more than him.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely did not help my ego at all when I was in school, because then I would go to the other teachers and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna teach me something? Okay, good luck. But no, I did have some really phenomenal teachers, so I definitely give a good shout out to all of them.
Yeah.
They were all really awesome. So another thing I wanted to talk about today, and I want to hear more from you, because I feel like I've been talking this entire time.
Loving it. 21 bucks.
But SCRCs, Spiral Curse Reversal Ceremonies. So how many people on the planet would you say have curses on them? Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to ask, because I'm like, I know it's going to be up there.
99.
Yeah.
Probably the ones that don't, well, and they do too, are the global elite.
Yeah.
But they're controlled other ways. But yeah, you know, it's common. It's not just some weirdo over there in the corner that thinks they got a curse on them. It's like, no, the curses are running amok because so many people are doing it. Like, not just the overlords, but people do it to each other. They get angry and
Road rage.
yeah. And curses are all over the place. I tell you what, they're so when I first was introduced to this ceremony, I was in this hot 2-bedroom apartment with the son of a cult lord living with me, and it was like 100 and something degrees in there. The air conditioner didn't work. It was like hell. And we're in this hot apartment, 2nd story, and outside the window, both 2 sides, is hot asphalt. So we got all the heat from the hot asphalt coming out. And
it just gets worse and worse.
And we were sleeping on the floor in my office because there was enough room for beds, and I didn't have a bed, so we were sleeping on sleeping bags on the floor. And this guy would he got possessed on a regular basis. Like, I never knew. He was like Grand Central Station for entities. I never knew. I mean, one time I woke up and he's like right here on my face, and he's like, I know, you know. And I'm like, no, what? And then just ragging. I'm like, and then trying to get him to come back, and it's like, come on back. Things coming and going in him all the time. One time, I'll tell that story another time. Anyway, lots of weird shit happening there. I was barely making it financially. Business was really slow. I was selling all of my stuff that I could do to get money for the rent, and I would go to these new age conventions and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where everybody makes a lot of money. Well, they would always put me in the corner somewhere where nobody'd see me, and
like a holistic fair.
yes,
like yeah,
like those,
okay.
Yes. And I maybe made over a weekend $20. Like, I'm not kidding.
And the booths are a lot more than $20.
Yes.
Okay, that's wow.
So it was, well, I would pay the booth off and then make $20. So I made enough for me and my daughter for 2 days. So we went to Taco Bell. So it worked for 2 days. So it's like bad things were happening all the time. And with the son of the cult lord, it's like, one time I booted up my computer, and it said, this error message came across the computer, and it said something like, if you do it, your computer will die. We see you. What? And that was in the BIOS of the computer.
What?
Yes. Now, see, this was back in the 90s, where it's not quite like it is now, where the BIOS came up first. And I'm like, what the hell? You do. Well, what I was going to do is pull a shove-in out of the son of the cult lord. It's like, I knew who was messing with him, and that was on my agenda that day. So I did it, and guess what happened?
Did your computer die?
Yes, it did.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes, it did.
Wow.
It did die. So I had to take it to the computer tech that was, and I didn't have money to take my computer in all the time. It was always in there.
And back in those days, the computers were also very heavy. So
very heavy.
Not only did you have to pay for it, but you had to lug it in there.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy thing to do. Oh, so this kind of crap was happening all the time. And my camera, oh my gosh. One time he says, I think there's a UFO out there. So I'm going to take a picture of it. So he takes all these pictures and ruins my camera. And and so I took it back to Kodak, and they said, whatever was wrong with your camera could have only, the way it was programmed, could have only been programmed that way at the time it was made.
Wow.
I'm like, really? They said, yeah, you can't do that now. It had to have been in the factory. I'm like, what? So
Wow.
don't take pictures of UFOs, okay? And then another time, there was something out in the road. It was, all of a sudden, it just started sparking, like sparks and flashes coming out of the road. And he said, look at that. And I'm like, that's really weird. Why don't you go and check it out? He says, no, you go check it out.
No, you go check it out.
I'm like, I'm not going to go check it out. Sparks coming out of the road. What? And flashes of light, like lightning coming. I'm like, well, we went back there the next day and there was nothing there. Nothing, no holes, no potholes, nothing was there. So, just weird shit, it just went on. Okay. So then I have pawned everything I can, except for my computer. I needed my computer, but my radio, and I was always getting stolen from my car stereo. Apparently, whoever was because we lived in a neighborhood that kind of had some derelicts in there, right? So they had gathered up all the stuff from my car, which wasn't much, but it was my, the radio and the CD player, and then they were starting to, and then I had just gotten a van from the scrapyard, and we were gonna put it together, right? So I got one broken down crusty car and then this crusty minivan that we're trying to put together. So whoever stole it out of my car started trying to steal stuff out of the van, which there wasn't much in there, and then they got something spooked them and they left. So I get up and there's all my stuff that was in my car is now in my van. So I thought, you know what? This is the second time my car stereo, and it wasn't even that nice of one, has tried to get stolen. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to pawn it myself. If it's going to be pawned, I'm going to be the one to do it. So this stuff was happening, and no money and very few clients. I was barely making it. No, it was like rock bottom. And finally, I just said, it was hot, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I started to cry, and I can't remember if I think my son was gone that night. And so I went in his bedroom, and I said, Hal, I ain't doing this anymore. I will see if my family can take the kids. I'm out of here. I didn't sign up. I did not sign up for this. Or if I did, you never told me it was going to be this bad. So he said, okay, get your pencil out. And I'm like, okay, what? And he says, write down all the crappy things that have been going on in your life. And I said, I can do that.
5 pages later.
Yes, really, truly.
Yeah.
And I'm crying and I'm angry. And he says, okay, now make a list of all the good things that you would like to come in your life, or that you deserve. I'm like, okay, I can write that list too. And then he said, okay, now, while you're reading this list, and it has to be done in pencil, he said, start talking about it. And it's like, I am so darn sick of this, blah, 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 blah. And he says, as you say that, start drawing a spiral. And keep doing it. And my spiral was I had to do it really close because
To fit it on the paper.
right. So because there was so much going on. So I did the whole list of crappy stuff, and then he says, say, and I take my power back and put an abrupt stop to this now. He says, now take a breath. I'm going, okay. He says, now start coming back out, only you're going to go over the line that you had coming in. So it's like overwriting a program on a computer. It's an override. So I'm like, I can do that. It's like, from now on, I only get nice things in my life, and blah, 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 and this good things, and this good things, and quality clients, and a nice place to live, and not having to struggle every day, and then feeling like I'm gonna die, and blah, 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 blah. And then at the very end, and then you say, and this good luck and this good fortune continue on to eternity, and you lift your pencil. I'm like, whoa, that really feels good. So then what you do is take the spiral that you have all this energy in, and you wad it up, and you put it in a pie tin, and you torch it.
Yep.
And you can see it sparkle. Like if you do it at night, you can see it sparkle. And then you just feel this relief. And then I went out and scattered the ashes into the wind. I'm like, whoa, that feels good. So then a couple of days later, he says, you need to do another one. Because, things were changing a little bit, but, and so you want to do like 3 in a row, like every other night or every night. So you do 3 in a row, and it starts breaking things up, like major breakup. When that, after I'd done the 3rd one, I got in contact with Amika. She wrote to me, and that, that was an epic friendship.
Pretty much started everything.
Everything. And
if
so
you go onto the First Wave Indigo website, you'll see information on there about Amika.
And she's a spirit guide now to First Wave Indigos, and she's like right there. So that's my experience, and each time I have done them, it has started to break things. Sometimes it happens overnight, but usually it just starts breaking the crap up so it can leave, and so the good stuff can come in. So have you had, tell me about your stuff.
Well, there's not really a whole lot to say, I do them frequently. I would say the biggest thing that I've seen change drastically since I started doing them was now I have my own business. And when things get slow, I'll do another SCRC, just being like, hey, there's 9 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
I can help at least a portion of those people. I want them to come to me so I can help them, so they can help me,
Help them, help the planet.
And literally the next day, I'll have like 7 or 8 people schedule. Like normally not for that day, but they'll schedule for the weeks in advance, and
so it starts
building back up.
Building it back up again.
Yeah.
And we're always getting crap on us, so it's not like you can do 1 or 2 and you're good for the rest of your life.
No.
It's just not. And the curses can be like physical curses where somebody is doing a ceremony, or just somebody with intent that has such good psychic projections that they can curse you with that.
Yeah.
So it's all kinds of curses. It's not just one brand.
Yeah, it's not just one kind. It's not just one kind. And there's also a lot of worldwide curses too, that are really placed on all living beings.
Yes.
I do them pretty regularly, and every time I do, I feel great. You can do the spiral very quietly, if you're in a place where you can't really be loud and can't
scream
really
and howl like you want to.
Yeah.
You can whisper it.
You can whisper it. Quiet scream, right? Like, yeah. but it really does feel good, you know. One of the benefits I've noticed too is it does get it out of your nervous system.
It does. It
So,
does.
like, not only does it have that immediate effect on the body, but then it has that magical effect too, where it's going to help to create the circumstances that will actually help you.
Hmm.
Um, because, you know, you could be as a lot of people in the new age movement, they like to think, you know, oh, just be as happy as you can be and things will change. Well, if you're homeless multiple times, you know, if you're losing everything, it's kind of hard to be authentically happy
Happy.
24/7. You know, like you'll have little spurts of it here and there, I'm sure, but for the most part, you're going to feel defeated. For the most part, you're going to feel like there's no hope. Um,
But there can be.
but there can be. Yeah.
And this can get
Yeah.
you on that road.
Yeah, this will help you get there. This is an amazing tool for really taking back your power and being like, no, okay, I believe that I have magic, you know, and I'm going to use it to help myself and to help the planet, without hurting anyone, you know, because
Exactly.
it's very possible, you know.
You can do it
Um,
without hurting anyone. Imagine that.
yeah, yeah. So to any dark occultists watching this,
Yeah.
why? Why?
Why do you think that has to be a stipulation that somebody has to win and someone has to lose?
Yeah.
It's like we can have win-win, unless you're a Dark Lord and
And then they're going to lose
That's right.
because
because
all the power that they have is what we give them in the first place.
exactly.
So once we take it back, they have nothing.
Yeah.
They have nothing. But it does take learning about yourself. It does take really knowing who you are as an individual, knowing basic psychology, knowing basic anatomy, knowing basic nutrition. You know, all of those things really help.
Exactly.
But yeah, taking back your magic, taking back your power. So many people like to say it's a dog eat dog world, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, well, it
doesn't have
has been, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it is for the Dark Lords that are controlling it, but they're going away, and you just need to know they're going away. So we can create a awesome, happy place here where we work together and play together, and nobody has to be the loser except for the Dark Lords.
yeah, yeah. But that's really only because they made themselves the losers. You know, they have spent so long to manipulate and control millions and billions of people.
It's just how they roll, but
yeah,
they're gonna roll right away.
yeah, yeah. And the sooner the better too.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, so many people like to say, you know, one curse I see frequently is the lack of money.
Mm-hmm.
So many people like to say, oh, money can't buy you happiness. And what do you say to that? What do you say to that?
You said that to me. Wasn't this on our chat?
Yeah, it was. It was.
I said, money can't buy happiness, but neither can poverty.
Exactly.
How many people do you know that are just joyful, that are poverty-stricken and always have, you know, someone on their tail? Oh, this is late. This is late. We're going to turn off your lights. We're going to turn off your water. Yeah, that's poverty is.
Yeah.
It's so blessed to be poverty-stricken, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Especially when you look at the etymology and the history of the word blessed, where it's literally used by Catholic priests to remind people, you're less than me. So be less. Be less.
Be less.
You know, you told me about that years ago, and I actually looked it up, and there is historical evidence for that, where it literally is supposed to mean like, yeah, I'm the priest. You are less than me. You are less than God. So just deal with it.
You stay less, you be less, and you stay less for the rest of your existence.
For the rest of your existence. Yeah, that is actually the etymological history of that phrase.
So we like to change it. What are some of the things that we say, you know, when somebody sneezes?
Yeah.
So what do you say?
I like to say kazoo tight because it reminds me of those little kazoos, you know, that you blow.
That's good. That's a good one.
And sometimes I'll say, be more
be
you.
More.
Be
Yes.
more you.
That was it. Be more.
Yeah.
Be more you. And you go, what? Yeah. Don't be less. Be more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. Well, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the time there, and I
Oh
think,
gosh, yeah,
yeah,
this on top of the other 18
yeah,
minutes we did
yeah,
before. Yeah, we're probably
we're
about
kind of
done.
going over time
Yeah.
here. So,
Yeah.
on
Okay.
that note, on the be more,
Uh-huh.
I'd say we be done.
We be done.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Farewell.